Hello, hello, and welcome. I am working on, what is this, exercise 20 of Learn Ruby the Hard Way, Functions and Files. So this little script is not very difficult, but it took me a second to figure it out. So basically, it works like this. We pass in a file, and we're using the functions defined to print the contents of the file. And so you can see this. You can see right here the file. It's the script, whatever you want to call it. It's broken down into like three basic parts. Here we're taking in the file. Here we define the functions, and here we're calling the functions. So we use arg when we to take in the file that we tell it to take in when we call the file in the terminal. And then here we define our three functions. The first function, print all, it will do exactly what it says, really. It uses the read function to put or print the contents of the file. Right, and F is just a stand-in, right? That'll be whatever you tell it to, whatever the file's name is. Rewind does what its name implies. It rewinds to the beginning of the file. So the file that you tell it, it uses the seek method to go to the beginning. Just like a tape player, when you print out the file like that, you need to rewind it to go back to the beginning. So that's what that does. And then we define the print align variable, and this is where I was confused first. So we're passing in two arguments, right? And all it does is print out the two arguments. So we have line count, so whatever line count you give it, so which line is this in the file, that's what it's going to print. And then it's going to print that line, f.gets.chomp. Prints the line that you want it to. So that's here we've taken in the file and we've named our functions, and now we're going to call the functions. So first we name name a variable called current file, and that's equal to the act of opening up the input file. And now remember, input file up here is what we passed in. So we named that. We print out a line, and then so we call the print all function on the current file. So that's going to print the whole thing. Then we rewind the current file. It's going to rewind. And then down here, this is where I was confused, but it's really simple. So we define a new variable called current line. Sorry, current line right there, and it's equal to 1. So that's keeping track of where we are. Current line is 1. So then we're calling the print align function, and it does what goes back up here, right? So we pass in current line. Where is current line? Well, current line is 1, so it's going to print, right? Line count 1, number 1. Current file. What's current file? Oh, where is it? Current file is equal to active opening up the input file. So it's going to print out line 1. Then down here, current line is equal to current line plus 1. So it's going to count up. So it's going to be current line is equal to 2. It's going to print out line 2. Then it's going to count up to 3, print out line 3. So that's what I think. I might be wrong in my explanation, or I might be missing something. So if I'm totally wrong, let me know. Also, I can see right here one way to make this simpler is right here. You can simplify that by you would make it current line plus equal 1. Right? You don't need current line plus 1. The plus equals is basically like a shorthand for current line is equal to current line plus 1. So just a thought, and that's sticking to it. So let me know if my analysis is right or wrong.